one last thing in this project that you should know, and that is a construct in Python that is very frequently used and that we should use in a lot of instances, which is if name equals main. So what we've seen is just in this Python script, I've just got two functions, one function, two function, three functions, three functions, and then I kind of just call whatever function I want. The better way of doing this is to have at the bottom of our script a section called if name equals main. If name equals main. And then we would call our count words method or call whatever methods we'd like. Name is a built-in variable into Python, and it determines if a script is being run immediately by calling the script or if it's being imported as a module. In other words, if another Python script were to import book analysis and use these methods, I can show you that here in a minute, then name, this variable, Python would automatically set it to the name of the script. It would be set to book analysis. However, if I'm going to run this script, if I'm just going to run it like this, then name will equal main, underscore, underscore, main, underscore, underscore. And that just tells Python the script's being run as the script. It's not being imported into another module. And we see the script ran there. So let's just print here. Let's print name. See, I've not defined name anywhere. I'm just checking that variable. It's built into Python. I'm going to print this at the bottom here. So run. So there we go. Main. Name is equal to main in this instance. So what that determines is that this script is being run locally, being run on its own. It's not being imported. So the best practice is if we have a script like this, we often will have our methods at the top of the script, and then at the bottom of the script we'll have if name equals main, and then we'll run whatever we want to run. So that way when this script is run, when bookanalysis.py is run, it will process here. If we had another file, let's say import test.py, and we import book analysis, it's in the same folder, so we can do this, import book analysis. We could call these methods from book analysis. We could call get put contents, and we could call count letters or count words. Let's try it. Let's say book analysis to specify the module. It becomes a module when we're importing it. Dot. We see they're already populated here in our IDE. Dot count letters. And add our parentheses to actually call the function. Let's run import test.py. Let's run that. It counted the letters. It worked. See, we could count words. We're calling these functions from book analysis. Let's run import test. Okay, we just counted the words. Now let's do something here in book analysis. If name equals main, count words, but if name is not equal main, so in other words, if we're importing, print this module is being imported. Okay, now let's run import test. We counted words, but when we imported book analysis, the very first thing in this program, so up above, let's see what happened. This module is being imported. Name of book analysis does not equal main in this case. Let's print name. Now let's run import test. Scroll up. I didn't save book analysis. Command S. Here we go. Now it's book analysis is the name. So the name of it's kind of confusing, but the name of the name variable built into Python, if I'm running it, if I'm importing it and running it, the name takes on the name of the file, book analysis. So just to recap, so I think that kind of demonstrates our point here, but just to recap, what we should do is we should say if name equals main, and it's just always going to be that, if name equals main. In other words, if we're running this module directly or this script directly, then do our stuff. So what we could do here to get rid of this, I alluded to this earlier, some duplication in our text. In our Python, we could put that here, because if we're running it locally, we know these are going to be the same. We'll say book file will be that, and raw book text will be get book contents. I can delete this from count letters as well. And then we could just put in a parameter. We could just say raw book text. That will be our parameter for both of these methods. Because we took away raw book text from here, we're now consolidating it to here. If name equals main, now we have raw book text. And then we can count words, raw book text. We could count letters, raw book text as well. Now let's run that. So did we count our words and then our letters? We did. We counted words and then letters. There we go. So if name equals main, again, we'll have our imports, we'll have our functions, we'll have if name equals main, and then the bulk of our, like how we actually want to run our program, what order we want to call our functions, what processing we want to do. That's often a way that we'll write these scripts to meet the standards and what's expected when we're writing Python. This is a very common convention, so I wanted you to be aware of that and take the time. It seemed like a good opportunity in this lecture to take the time to show you that.